This desire within each of us is nothing new. In fact, it predates mankind. One has to go back even before the beginning, way back into the eternal counsel of God in eternity past. Lucifer was an angel of light, the seal of perfection, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 12. He was placed by God himself to be an important part, if not the leader, of the praise that was happening around the throne of heaven. But one day, Lucifer decided he wanted to be a VIP. Motivated by pride and the desire to be somebody who was admired and exalted, he said, "I will be like the Most High," Isaiah chapter 14, verse 14. And Lucifer was expelled from heaven, thrust out forever. But gifted with the power of persuasion, he enticed 1/3 of all the angelic hosts to join him in his prideful rebellion. Revelation chapter 12, verse 4. Today, we know this fallen angel as Satan. And when our first parents were walking in the Garden of Eden, he appeared and successfully tempted them to follow suit. We inherited our sin nature from Adam and Eve, and that nature has its own subtle and sinister way of playing into our own pride. We came by our prideful desire to be important honestly, and we learned it early. Taking our first steps as babies opened the door to the arena of center stage for each of us. And we liked it. We liked the applause, we liked the affirmations, and we liked the adoration. So we took another step, then another. Being the center of attention, being the most important one in the room, had and continues to have quite an appeal. This unquenchable thirst for importance doesn't end when we learn to walk. It stays with us for a lifetime. It shows up in all sorts of self-promoting ways, no matter how subtle we may be. As we grow older, this VIP syndrome, as I call it, pushes us to want the perceived comforts of being separate from the more common types. It drives us to want the best seats in the house. It fuels our sense of being entitled. We can be absolutely consumed by the desire to be noticed and recognized, to be a very important person. If, by chance, you are reading these words and thinking they are directed towards someone else, let me ask you a few questions. How often do you check your Facebook, Twitter, or other social media pages? After you post something, do you hurry back to see how many likes you have, how many favorites are listed, or how many pats on the back you received? Does the number of likes have any impact on how you feel about yourself during the day? If we are truly honest, most of us would have to admit to at least a little bit of ego-driven narcissism. And social media can help us recognize that in ourselves. Today's social media craze has a dual effect on our culture. Facebook, for example, can be a great tool for reestablishing relationships that have lain dormant for years. But in too many cases, this desire within us for importance has led to the destruction of long-time relationships, even marriages. More than one divorce has occurred due to someone reconnecting with an old high school sweetheart after many years. For any of us who may be thinking we are already pretty important, let me say that everything is relative. Case in point, standing on the beach in South Florida and gazing at the Atlantic Ocean, we are overwhelmed by its massive power and its vastness stretching before us, thousands and thousands of miles to the horizon and beyond. But is the Atlantic really that large? The next time we lull ourselves to sleep with our own false sense of self-worth and self-importance, let's remember this. We might think the Atlantic is big, our Earth huge, and our planetary system vast. But the known universe is home to at least 10 trillion other systems like ours. In reality, then, the Earth is a very tiny planet. In fact, there are planets in our own solar system that 1,000 Earths could fit inside. Furthermore, our own solar system, with its 8 planets revolving around our sun, is only a very small dot in a very tiny corner of the Milky Way galaxy.